If you were so afraid of a home invader that you sacrificed your privacy and control of your own home to somebody else, and that person then invaded your home, what would you do? In this age of digital saturation, anything shiny and techy that seems too good to be true probably is, especially when it's an all-encompassing home security system in beta testing owned by a dude with a resting creep face. This mom and daughter just wanted to feel safe in their own home, but they didn't realize that meant handing over total access and control to, well, control freaks who get off on using their technology to do whatever they want. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the tech psychos in Smart Home Killer. In Genericville, USA, a woman named Leia sends her teenage daughter Harper off to school, only to hear the door open and close again after Harper's gone. She heads to check it out when a masked attacker ambushes her from behind and pins her to the wall. She fights and manages to dial 911, and when the operator picks up, the attacker flees.
What is your emergency?
Home invasions are much more common than you think. Over 1 million homes are broken into each year in the United States alone, and most happen in broad daylight, between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. when they think that no one will be there. But those numbers are a reduction of almost 75% from the 1980s, when everyone was apparently so cooked up that they didn't know which house was theirs. Leia gives a solid beginner's combination of moves here. She knees him in the stomach, then slams her arms across his back. I might suggest kicking him while he's down to make sure he stays that way. Also, don't forget to use environmental weapons if you have them, like the picture frame just in reach. But then she lunges for her cell phone like it's a landline that can't be moved. Grab that thing and go. Dial as you run out the door, find a room to barricade, or grab for a knife. After the attack, Leia's shaken up enough to quadruple her mortgage to afford a smart home. A giant mansion made of shatterproof glass, titanium voice-activated locks, ground motion tracking, and a camera monitoring 24/7. Which sounds impressive until you remember that means you're paying for some other perv to watch you all day, every day. She's beta testing this house, so she's introduced to all the tech highlights by Devin, the inventor. Devin's tech is used for security around town, but this is the first full house security model, which only he and his assistant, this guy Wesley, can monitor. Harper's not thrilled about the move, or that house that has these glowing hubs everywhere that work as speakers and mobile security extenders. And she's a little surprised when Wesley shows up to continue the tour and begins hitting on her in front of Leia. In all likelihood, you smell like or, at best, gamer sup-infused dead skin. A shower's a good start, but you probably need something stronger. Let me tell you about today's sponsor, Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that sends you a 30-day supply of new designer fragrances to try each month for just $17. It's a flexible service that lets you decide which scents that you'd like to try, so you're never surprised. With over 700 perfumes and colognes from brands like Gucci and Prada to indie labels like Heretic and Confessions of Rebel, their scent profiles range from cosmopolitan and sophisticated to earthy and romantic. Hell, you could even smell like a pastry or cocktail if you want. This month, Scentbird sent me 3 scents to try. Alex by Rohab is an adventurous cologne that smells like the woods on a cold winter day, with hints of sandalwood, leather, and mandarin. Sexual Noir Pour Homme by Michael Germain smells like a dark European cocktail bar, if that's your thing. Just imagine a vampire speakeasy in Italy. Sweet, seductive, with hints of tobacco. And I Don't Know What from DS and Durga is for anyone who likes a clean linen scent, which, if no one has told you yet, is consistently rated a top male scent with the ladies. Like I said, they offer a wide range of options, so you can find the best scent for you. If you're in the US and Canada, use my promo code NerdExplains55 for 55% off your first month at Scentbird.com. That drops the price of your first month to $7 and change. Thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Check out the links in the description. When he walks out, he shows Harper how to loop a piece of security video, rendering her and anyone with her virtually invisible on the security monitors.
That's just a quick little hack. I'm sure she's listening and watching, so put the front cameras on a loop, pause the DVR from recording. Looks like we're just standing here, now we can do anything.
Then he asks the 17-year-old out. Feeling safe yet, Mom? A few days later, Harper ditches school and invites Wesley and her friend Nico over to swim. He loops the security footage to make the house appear empty when her mom checks the cameras. What the security network can't do is sign Harper in for her classes. Leia gets an alert text that Harper missed 2 periods. When she can't call her daughter, she opens the security feed, which looks empty until she triggers some function and the loop ends, revealing them all in the pool. Leia drives home and confronts them. She warns Wesley not to come back, rats him out to Devin, and puts a location tracker on her daughter's phone. In the middle of the night, a burner on the gas stove turns on by itself, setting off the fire alarms. They dismiss it as a network glitch, but it was obviously Wesley. Devin finds out about that and the pool party and docks Wesley a week's pay, then heads over to Leia's to check her network. Wesley's still watching, and when Harper picks a fight with a bully, Wesley shows up at her school after Leia leaves. He flirts with her and tells her how to ditch her phone with a friend so she can go on a date with him. Dude does not know when to quit. He drops the temp in Leia's room at night, dates Harper on the sly, and continues to track their day-to-day movements through the cameras. But remember, I said their tech is used all over town. Devin catches him on the school security system picking Harper up. So Wesley's not even a smart predator. Devin shows Leia evidence of this, then promises to fire Wesley, but he doesn't just fire him. Dude straight up murks his employee by taking over his car remotely and crashing it.
You are gravely mistaken if you think you could take me for granted.
Damn. Oblivious to her cyber daddy's new kill count, Leia holds a housewarming party, which Devin uses as a sales event until he notices Leia with her boyfriend Oscar. Oscar tells Devin he's impressed with the smart tech and would love to pick his brain about it, which makes Devin paranoid. Devin also scares an obnoxious coworker for Leia. Then he thinly threatens her if she lets Oscar look at any of the tech in the house. Days later, she hears about Wesley's fatal crash right before Devin shows up unannounced to update the house's network. He becomes paranoid and demands to know if Oscar was allowed to access his network. Then grabs Leia when he sees her wearing a smartwatch Oscar gave her.
You lied to me. This is connected to my network, isn't it?
Call me right now. Sateria, call 911.
Satara, cancel the call.
Calling.
There are 2 points in the conversation where we have a decision to make. The first is having this chat at all. Let him do what he came here to do and leave. Then check your contract with him to see if he can sue you for removing the hardware from the home. If he can, get a lawyer. If he can't, get a lawyer. Then call an outside computer expert to come and disassemble the system right away. Leave the house to make the call just to be safe. If you decide to have this conversation, then once he leaves, exit the house, head to a safe location, tell your daughter to meet you there, and then call a lawyer. Or, if you want to catch him doing something to your home before you initiate anything, hire a discreet camera company to come place cameras that you can control in the house. Preferably ones with a closed network that his smart tech can't access. Oscar offers to have his lawyers file a restraining order, but she's scared and thinks Devin's probably watching them. And Devin is. He tells her home network to create a fake text from her boss calling her to work. Before she can leave, Harper comes home and she breaks the news that Wesley was killed. While she's at work, Oscar goes for a swim in the pool and sends Leia a fun video, unaware that Devin is watching. Devin triggers the steam room lights and music to come on, drawing Oscar in to investigate. Devin then locks the doors and spikes the heat, roasting Oscar to death.
Sateria, turn down the heat.
I won't make a joke about the parallels between this and a certain car company that's had issues with their car batteries bursting into flames and their windows not opening. I will mention that shatterproof glass is breakable. Shatterproof really just means shatter resistant, in that it holds the shards in place to keep them from shooting everywhere. Use a claw hammer or screwdriver to create an initial break in the glass, then repeatedly hammer that point until the break widens and undermines the glass's integrity. Oscar obviously doesn't have one of those, but from this viewpoint, we can see that there's a planter, a bench, and a control pad in the sauna with him. The planter and the bench may be too heavy to move or bolted down, but check anyway. Lifting that bench onto its side, then thrusting it at the glass door enough times will probably break it. Or if that doesn't work, rip the control pad off the wall and use its point the same way you would a hammer. Devin also deactivates the house's safety protocols and begins pumping carbon monoxide in through the vents. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas that can be deadly because it displaces oxygen in the blood and can suffocate your heart, brain, and organs without you even realizing it until it's too late. When it's being pumped into a house, it can fill the entire thing in as little as 5 minutes. When Leia gets home, security footage of Oscar dying in the steam room begins to play on the TV. She rushes for the back door, but it won't open, even when a verbal request is made. Harper tries calling 911, but there's no service, and the home smart network no longer responds to their commands. Leia grabs a golf club and smashes a camera, triggering an alarm. Then she verbally threatens the smart system because she knows Devin is watching and smashes another camera. She also tells Harper to hide her phone because it can be tracked. Harper starts to feel dizzy and struggles to breathe just as the smart house announces Devin has entered through the back door. He attempts to track their phones as the ladies hide in a far room. Of course, they don't bring the golf club they had 4 seconds ago with them. When Devin goes upstairs to the location of Harper's phone, the women make a run for the back door, but it's still locked and both become too dizzy to walk, just in time for Devin's evil villain speech. Leia staggers in search of a weapon. Just as Devin grabs Harper from behind, she yanks off his mask and uses his own taser against him, knocking him to the floor where Leia takes him out for good. She uses the master key from his bag to open the door and escape, and the movie ends with them moving again, probably into a voyeur's basement. Let's play out this scenario if Devin was actually as smart as he seems to be, right up until the end. There's no reason for him to come inside. Carbon monoxide can kill in just a few minutes, so if he listens to 2 extra songs in the car, none of this ending happens. If we're trapped inside a house made of shatterproof glass that's filling with carbon monoxide, do what I mentioned earlier. Find a hammer, or a knife, or any pointed object, as well as something to hit it repeatedly from behind, and just tap away at one of the windows. Even if we can't break the glass, we can tap until we create 2 breathing holes for ourselves. Or head to your laundry room and find the dryer vent. Most dryers vent moist, heated air directly outside, and we can use that vent as an oxygen hole. Also, this home has a double garage. Even if the garage door windows are shatterproof, many electric garage doors come with a bypass switch, which allows you to manually lift the door in case the power fails or there's a malfunction. You might also have the tools, wood, or other items in there that you can use to pry the door enough to breathe if it still won't open. Ultimately, their biggest mistake is the most obvious one. Smart technology is only safe and protective if you and you alone can access it. The first thing I would have asked Devin before agreeing to buy this house would have been, what's my master keyword that allows me and me alone to operate this system, locking you out of it completely? We would have learned in 10 seconds whether he was willing to give us one at all, and if he did, we could test it right in front of him. Then I would have switched it on and told him to give me a simple phone call anytime he needs access. It's not so much that he can't change it later, it's how he responds when we ask for something this obvious. The second question to ask is, where is the manual shutdown switch for the smart system in the event of a catastrophic malfunction? If he says there isn't one or won't tell us where it is because he doesn't want the system to shut off, then we're letting him loop some other schmucks into this terrible trap house. For those reasons, I think Smart Home Killer was beaten. Moral of the story, just get a gun and a dog. Thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Check out the links in the description.